Success isn't for everyone. It's a fact. The world is filled with people who say they want it, but when it's time to put in the real work, they fold. They love the idea of success. They love watching highlight reels, and they love talking about their dreams. But when it's time to grind, to push past exhaustion, to sacrifice, they hesitate. See, success isn't about luck or talent. It's about mentality. And if your mentality is weak, if you don't have the right mindset, you will fail before you even begin. I've seen it my whole life. I could walk into a gym and within minutes, I'd know who was built for greatness and who was wasting their time. Success leaves clues, but so does failure. And if you don't recognize the warning signs, you're heading straight from mediocrity. So I'm here to break it down for you. 7 signs that you will not be successful, 7 habits that separate winners from losers. If you see these in yourself, you need to change fast. If you see these in someone else, don't be surprised when they stay stuck in the same place their whole life. The truth is, most people will never reach their full potential, not because they aren't capable, but because they refuse to do what's necessary. They hold themselves back. They let their weaknesses control them. They make the wrong decisions over and over until it becomes their reality. But not you. Not if you're listening to this and you're serious about being great. Not if you're willing to be honest with yourself and make changes where it matters. Because if you're not willing to change, then don't waste your time chasing success. Success isn't something you chase, it's something you earn. And if you're not built for it, life will expose you. So let's get into it. Here are the 7 signs that you will not be successful. Excuses are the death of success, period. The second you start making excuses, you're telling yourself a story that justifies failure. And the worst part, excuses sound good. They feel comfortable and make you believe that your lack of progress isn't your fault. But guess what? Nobody cares. Nobody cares about your excuses. Not your competition, not your coach, not the scoreboard, not life. Excuses don't change the outcome. Adjustments do. I've seen guys come into the league with all the talent in the world, but they never made it because they were too busy blaming everything except themselves. Coach didn't play me enough. I didn't get the opportunities. My teammates don't pass me the ball. You know what I did when I wasn't getting minutes? I made myself undeniable. I worked harder, studied more film, became so good that they had no choice but to put me in the game. I didn't waste time complaining. I used every second to improve. Because winners don't sit around making excuses. They find solutions, they adjust, they adapt. Ask yourself right now, when something doesn't go your way, what's your first instinct? Do you blame your circumstances, or do you take control and figure out how to get better? If your first instinct is to look for an excuse, you've already lost. The people who win in life are the ones who refuse to give up their power. They don't let outside factors dictate their success. They take ownership. And when you take ownership, you give yourself a chance to change. But if you keep blaming everything else, you'll stay stuck forever. No excuses, only adjustments. Everybody wants success until they realize what it actually takes. Till they see the hours, the discipline, the pain, the sacrifice. Everybody loves the idea of greatness, but when they see the cost, they back down. Because deep down, most people don't really want success, they just want comfort. Let me tell you something. If you fear hard work, you will never be successful. Period. That's not up for debate. Success doesn't care about your feelings. It doesn't care if you're tired or if you don't feel like it, or if you need motivation. If you need someone to constantly push you, you've already lost. The greatest in the world don't need motivation because they have discipline. People used to ask me, Kobe, why are you in the gym at 4 a.m.? And I'd look at them like they were crazy. Why wouldn't I be in the gym at 4 a.m.? You think I was gonna let my competition outwork me? Never. I had one goal, to be the best. And that meant I had to do what others wouldn't. While they were sleeping, I was working. While they were partying, I was working. While they were taking days off, I was working. Because here's the truth, hard work is the great separator. The guy who shows up first and leaves last is always going to pass the guy who just does the bare minimum. I don't care how talented you are. If you're not willing to put in the hours, you're not going to make it. And the crazy part, most people know they aren't working hard enough, but they still choose comfort over success. They don't want to feel tired. They don't want to push through the pain. They want balance. You know what balance gets you? Mediocrity. If you want to be great, there is no balance. There is no off switch. There is no I'll start tomorrow. It's every single day. No breaks, no shortcuts, no excuses. That's what separates the great from the average. And the real question is, how bad do you actually want it? Are you willing to wake up earlier, work longer, push through exhaustion, sacrifice comfort, and be obsessed? Because if the answer is no, you don't really want success. You just want the idea of it. And ideas don't win championships, work does. So ask yourself, when nobody's watching, when there's no applause, when it's just you and the grind, are you still putting in the work? Because if you aren't, don't expect to win. Let me be real with you. Success isn't about what you do once in a while. It's about what you do every single day. The biggest killer of success isn't lack of talent or opportunity, it's inconsistency. You can't be great on Monday, lazy on Tuesday, motivated on Wednesday, and tired by Thursday. That's not how champions operate. That's how average people operate. The ones who talk about what they could do, what they should do, what they will do someday, but never actually do it. And let me tell you something, someday is a lie. I saw this every season in the NBA. Guys would come into training camp on fire. They'd put in extra work for a few weeks, maybe even a few months, but then they get comfortable. They'd slow down, they'd start cutting corners, and before they knew it, the season was passing them by. You think the greats allow that to happen? Hell no. The greats wake up and attack every single day like it's game 7. When I was in the league, there was no such thing as an off day. Even in the off season, I was in the gym at 4 a.m. putting up 1,000 shots before the world even woke up. Not because I had to, but because I refused to let anyone outwork me. Because I knew that success isn't a one-time event, it's a lifestyle. It's something you commit to whether you feel like it or not. And that's the problem with most people. They do things only when they feel like it. They work hard when they're inspired, they stay disciplined when they're motivated, but the moment life gets tough, the moment they don't see results right away, they quit. And that's why they never make it. They don't understand that real success comes from showing up, even on the days when you're exhausted, when you're frustrated, when nothing seems to be working. Think about it like this. If you planted a seed today, would you expect a tree tomorrow? No, but most people treat success that way. They want the rewards before they've done the real work. And when they don't see instant results, they stop watering the seed. They stop showing up. They stop grinding. But the ones who make it, they keep going. They stay locked in. They show up whether they're tired, whether they're discouraged, whether it feels like nothing is happening, because they know that success isn't about intensity, it's about consistency. Ask yourself this, are you truly committed or are you just interested? Because if you're only interested, you'll work hard when it's convenient. But if you're committed, you'll do whatever it takes no matter what. And if you aren't consistent, don't expect to win, period. Show me your circle and I'll show you your future. The people you surround yourself with will either push you towards success or pull you into failure. There's no in between. You think you can be great while hanging around lazy, unmotivated, excuse-making people? Not a chance. Energy is contagious. Mindsets are contagious. And if the people around you aren't pushing you to be better, then they're holding you back. One of the biggest mistakes I see people make is keeping the wrong company out of comfort. They don't want to let go of friendships, even when those friendships are keeping them mediocre. They don't want to cut ties with people who make excuses, who don't take their own life seriously, who are okay with being average. And guess what? that mindset will rub off on you. You don't rise to your goals, you fall to the level of your environment. When I was in the league, I wasn't interested in being friends with everybody. I wasn't there to be liked. I was there to win. And that meant I surrounded myself with winners. I surrounded myself with people who worked as hard as I did, who had the same hunger, who wouldn't let me settle, because the right people will challenge you, they will call you out, they will force you to level up. And if your circle isn't doing that, then you're in the wrong circle. You ever wonder why successful people tend to hang around other successful people? It's not a coincidence. Winners respect winners, they feed off each other's energy, they sharpen each other's skills, they push each other to new levels. But if you're hanging around people who don't care about growth, who are content with being average, then guess what? You'll become just like them. I get it. Cutting people off isn't easy. But you need to ask yourself a serious question. Are your friendships more important than your future? Are you willing to sacrifice your goals just to keep certain people around? Because if they aren't adding to your growth, they are subtracting from it. Think about this. If you were in a boat trying to sail towards success, but you had people in that boat drilling holes in it, slowing you down, making it harder to move forward, would wanted to be the best. So I made a decision. Feelings don't matter, the work does. You know what the problem is? Most people want to feel good more than they want to be great. They want comfort more than they want success. That's why they hit snooze instead of waking up early. That's why they watch TV instead of working on their craft. That's why they waste time instead of investing it. And then they wonder why they're not where they want to be. Success is simple. It rewards discipline and punishes weakness. If you can't control your actions, if you let distractions pull you away from your goals, if you don't have the inner drive to do what's necessary, you will fail. Because the truth is, nobody is coming to save you. Nobody's going to push you every day. If you need someone to constantly remind you to work hard, you're already lost. The greats, they hold themselves accountable. They don't need motivation. They don't need permission. They don't need applause. They show up, they put in the work, they stay locked in every single day. That's what discipline looks like. So ask yourself, are you in control or are your excuses controlling you? Do you do what's necessary or do you do what's easy? Because if you don't have discipline, you won't have success, period. If you fear failure, you've already lost. Simple. Because failure isn't something to avoid, it's something to use. The greatest athletes, the greatest minds, the greatest achievers in history all have one thing in common. They failed more than everybody else. But instead of running from it, they learned from it. You know how many shots I missed in my career? Over 1/400? Zero. You know how many games I lost? Hundreds. You know how many times I failed to win a championship? More than I won. But I never let failure break me. I never let a missed shot make me hesitate. I never let a loss stop me from working, because I understood one thing: failure is part of the process. Most people don't get that. They take failure personally. They see it as proof that they aren't good enough. They let one loss define them, and instead of using it to get better, they quit. That's why they never succeed. They don't know how to handle failure. Let me tell you something. Failure isn't the opposite of success. It's the price of success. If you aren't failing, you aren't pushing hard enough. If you aren't struggling, you aren't growing. The people who win in life aren't the ones who never fail. They're the ones who refuse to stay down. I've seen guys in the NBA lose confidence after one bad game. They'd miss a few shots and suddenly they'd stop shooting. They let doubt creep in. And once doubt enters your mind, it's over. Because now you aren't just battling the competition, you're battling yourself. And that's a battle most people lose. When I missed a game-winning shot, I didn't dwell on it. I prepared for the next one. Because I knew that every failure was a lesson. Every mistake was an opportunity to grow. And that's the mentality you need. Embrace failure, learn from it, use it, but never let it stop you. Because the truth is, the only real failure is quitting. This is the biggest one. If you don't have obsession, you will never be great, not passion. Obsession fades, motivation comes and goes, but obsession doesn't leave. Obsession keeps you up at night. Obsession wakes you up early. Obsession makes you push harder than everyone else, not because you have to, but because you can't imagine doing anything else. I was obsessed with basketball. Not interested, not passionate, obsessed. I lived and breathed the game. I studied film for hours, perfecting every move. I took thousands of shots a day, making sure I mastered every angle. While other players were taking breaks, I was working. While they were relaxing, I was grinding, because I knew that to be the best, you have to be willing to do what nobody else is willing to do. The problem with most people, they want success, but they don't need it. They want to be great, but they're not obsessed with it. And if you're not obsessed, you will always be outworked by someone who is. Think about the greats: Michael Jordan, Tom Brady, Serena Williams, Elon Musk. What do they all have in common? Obsession. They weren't just interested in winning. They weren't just passionate about their craft. They were consumed by it. So ask yourself, are you obsessed, or are you just interested? Do you think about your goals every single day? Do you work on them relentlessly no matter what, or do you treat them like a hobby, something you'll get around to when it's convenient? Because if you aren't obsessed, you'll always be behind. So now you know, these are the signs that separate the successful from the unsuccessful, the winners from the losers, the champions from the quitters. If you see these signs in yourself, you have two choices. You can ignore them and stay the same, or you can change. But don't lie to yourself. Don't tell yourself you want success if you aren't willing to do what it takes. Because the truth is, success isn't for everyone. Not because it's impossible, but because most people won't commit to the price. They won't sacrifice. They won't stay disciplined. They won't push through failure. They won't go all in. But you have a choice. Are you going to be the person who makes excuses, or are you going to be the one who adjusts? Are you going to stay comfortable, or are you going to push yourself to levels you even know you had? Because success isn't given, it's taken, and the only question left is, are you willing to take it?